it appears that creative differences might have saved us from a new Star Wars movie. I can't believe I'm saying this. 20 years ago, if I would have heard that they're making a new Star Wars movie, my heart would be racing. I was such a consumer. I mean, this actually brought pleasure into my life. It's not just the movie in itself, but it was the idea that, okay, I get to talk with all my friends about the movie and I can go on forums and we can talk about the plot. And it was, honestly, it was such a magical thing when a movie came out that you genuinely liked, that you saw the trailer and your heart was pumping in your chest and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see it. Something that actually gave meaning into my life. Is it sad? I don't know. Maybe it's sad. But what's interesting is that I don't want these movies to come out now because every time they make a bad movie, there's more people that are leaving the fandom. And the more people that leave the fandom, the more people that stop consuming, the less likely it is you're going to get a movie in the future. So, I don't know, maybe in 20, 30 years from now, Hollywood can get their shit together and we might actually get a decent Star Wars film. But until then, I have no hope. Just so you can understand how politicized Star Wars is right now, like, if you happen to read the comic books that Disney is putting out, apparently self-defense is not the Jedi way. Yeah, I was reading the High Republic. They might be high on crack or something, because I really don't understand what they're smoking. There's actually a scene where they say self-defense is not the Jedi way. So the Jedi is just like, I don't even know if I should say a pacifist at this point. It should be a pushover. I don't know, like, what happens in the movies when people fire at the Jedi and he uses the lightsaber to return the projectiles. Apparently, that wasn't the Jedi code back in the day of the High Republic. It kind of begs the question, like, how did they become high? How did they manage to be more powerful than the Sith if they were such pacifists? The idea that harmlessness is a virtue is unreal. Alright, like, they're pushing this idea to the extreme, like being being as harmless as possible is a virtue. Which in some cases it's true, right? But in other cases, like protecting a loved one, defending yourself, defending your family, defending your country, is not a virtue if you're pacifist in those situations, right? Because if you are pacifist, you're going to have someone that's aggressive taking over, and that person is going to bully you and decide what your future is going to be from there on. I just, whatever, you know. But let's talk about the creative differences. So why is there a rumor about creative differences? And again, this is a rumor, but it's being echoed by so many people that it might actually be true. You see, back in the day, when you had a good movie, the way it was made, you had someone that was a creator, like, I don't know, George Lucas, right? And he comes up with an idea for a plot, and they make that plot, like, people read the script, and if they like the script, they create it in a movie. Now movies are created by commission. They're made in a board, soulless commission. It's why all the movies are soulless corporate products. Like a Frankenstein monstrosity where you have like 10 people getting together and discussing various plot points, and then they try to create the script and put it into the movie, and sometimes there's like 2 or 3 people creating a script. This is very unlikely that you actually can have a good art. I mean, imagine if the Mona Lisa would have been painted by 3 different people with different visions and whatnot. Do you think it would have been the Mona Lisa? I mean, very unlikely, right? It doesn't mean that this can never work. It doesn't mean like you can never actually have something where more people join together and they're creating it, but it's very unlikely. It's more likely if you have different people writing different scripts, and then people read the scripts and they decide which one is the best, but that's not what's happening. So apparently what's happening under the fascistic rule of Kathleen Kennedy is that there is way too much micromanagement. Like, she is treating directors as her children, and she's the mummy watching over their shoulders and micromanaging every decision, to the point where you have top filmmakers who are dying to make a Star Wars movie, because let's be honest, like, if you manage to make a good Star Wars movie, your name is cemented. Like, your career is just going to skyrocket if you do that. So you have people who want to do that, and when they sign on, they experience the micromanagement and plot point-by-point committee process. So you have a committee, and they're going to tell you, no, we don't want that in. Oh, please, can you put this in? To the point where it's not your movie anymore. So obviously, like, no one wants their name associated, because, as I mentioned before, it's one thing to get a Star Wars movie right. It's another thing to get a Star Wars movie wrong, because now your name is associated with the product. the committee doesn't have their names associated with the product. So why should you allow yourself to be influenced by people who don't take the fall if you take the fall? I love it that they consider the Game of Thrones guys, David Benioff and Dan Weiss, as people like to call them, D&D, Dumb and Dumber. They're considering them to be top filmmakers. The only way these people can make top filmmaking is if they have a book written by someone talented and they stick to the book, which unfortunately they can't seem to be able to. The moment you allow them to create something, it ends up with Game of Thrones Season 8 with Dany hearing bells and getting PTSD from the bells. What was that, Season 9? I forgot, but whatever. Apparently they're saying that another famous person, Jenkins, wasn't willing to put up with this shit, to be micromanaged constantly. And she had other projects, notably Wonder Woman 3 at Warner Brothers, where she enjoys more creative freedom. I don't think there's anything more soul-crushing than if you're a person that wants to be creative and you have a corporation breathing down your neck. And it's one thing if they give you like 1 or 2 directives. It's like, okay, you know what? If you make Harley Quinn the TV show, we don't want to see Batman going down on Catwoman. That's actually a thing, by the way. The internet blew up because the people at DC said superheroes don't do that. Batman doesn't go down on Catwoman. That's not a thing that superheroes do. You can Google it up, like it's a funny story. But, you know, it's one of those things like, alright, you get like one directive from the company. It's like, that's a line we don't want to cross. But it's a different thing when you actually get the bullet point of what you should include and what you shouldn't include. And you feel like you're being restrained on what you can create as if it's Soviet Russia. And you need to be very careful with how you're depicting a picture or whatever. Yeah, most people don't like that shit. And given the fact that they have other opportunities and they can work on other projects that allow them more freedom and more creative expression, then of course they're going to take those other projects. So apparently, yeah, more and more people are moving away from Star Wars. I still wonder, like, when will Kathleen Kennedy just be replaced? In any other situation, under any other company, by now you would have the person replaced with someone else. I mean, clearly the customer are unhappy, but hey, I guess she brings up that ESG score, so maybe she gets more money from BlackRock to Disney. I have no idea. Just speculating here. Would be funny if true. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, if you like this video, share it around. Check out my other video with Miss Heat, because I think that one is really great. And if you want to support this channel, there's a pinned comment into the comment section, and I'll give you some excellent buyer's remorse that you will not get anywhere else. Take care.